Good morning. Do you know, I thought I was done reading to you about the anxiety igniting thoughts, and then I realized there's another page that I forgot, and it's called Right Hemisphere-based Anxiety. This is a really interesting one. Oh my goodness. I haven't had the time to read through it or anything because I just found it. But let me go ahead and make some coffee. Now, I've got this toasted marshmallow skinny syrup. This is so good. Oh my gosh, I love toasted marshmallows. But I'm not going to make and eat toasted marshmallows because I may as well just spoon sugar out of the bowl into my mouth. But I get the flavor of it with this syrup. And you know what I'm going to do here? Let's see. Okay. I've got a Stormio. Gee, a Melozio would be better, but I don't think I have any. Okay, I've got a Stormio here. And this is to me, it's a medium kind of coffee. It's not weak, but it's not super intense. It's just a nice kind of in the middle. So, oh, you know what though? It always tastes better with some milk, but I don't want to overflow this thing, and I want to have room for a good dollop there of toasted marshmallow skinny syrup. So while this is brewing, I will read this to you. This one is so interesting. Right hemisphere-based anxiety. And why am I happy reading about anxiety? Because if we can recognize and identify the problems that we have, that's the first step in being able to deal with them. Okay. You know, it's kind of like, I actually have talked with some people sometimes who say, you know, I don't want to think more about my problem. Well, you know what? Let's say if your foot was hurting. Oh, my foot just keeps bothering me. Well, you know, what's wrong with it? You know, have you checked it out? Have you been to the doctor? Oh, no, I'm just hoping eventually it'll go away. And then we look at your foot and we find that you've got a splinter in there. You know, this is not going to go away till you take care of it, till you take it out and treat any infection that might be there. So ignoring problems, probably in 99 or more percent of the cases, does not help them go away. Okay? All right. The right hemisphere has a tendency to focus on negative information, whether that information is visual or auditory. It tends to be the source of some of our pessimistic thinking. It also can use its imaginative abilities to produce images and scenarios that can be extremely frightening. The right hemisphere focuses on the non-verbal aspects of our experiences and is watchful for anything negative in a person's posture, tone of voice, or facial expression. So we'll see how many of these items that I'm going to read. I'm going to read 8 statements. How many relate to your experience? But first the coffee. Oh, isn't it beautiful? It's a good thing I didn't put any milk in there, right? Wow, that is really yummy. Now see, as I said, I like toasted marshmallow, so I think that my taste buds are picking up on it. really, really well. You know, let's say if you didn't like toasted marshmallow, if a flavor that repelled you, you might pick up on it real well too, but in a negative way. Boy, I don't have to close my eyes for this one. Okay. Right hemisphere-based anxiety assessment. I picture potential problem situations in my mind, imagining various ways things could go wrong and how others will react. I can practically hear what people will say that will upset me. I tend to imagine ways that people will criticize or reject me. I can just feel people judging me at times. I'm good at imagining gory things. I am very sensitive to the tone of people's voices. I sometimes see images of terrible events occurring, seeing them in your mind. I am watchful of people's body language and pick up on subtle cues. You know, so it's kind of like if we're having a nice conversation and then while we're talking, I kind of start to look at you funny. You know? And then you might think, did I say something that is, you know, that's why she's acting that way? You know? Is it me? Is it her? So often people think, oh, it's me. So if you agreed with many of these statements, your right hemisphere may be the source of much of your anxiety. Using positive imagery as well as singing and listening to music may be helpful. How about that? Now, you know, I probably should have shown this to you in the beginning. It's like a little check-off thing. You know, what you can do is you can go back and listen to the videos that covered the various things. Pessimism, obsessing, perfection, catastrophizing, worrying, guilt, shame, and right brain. Okay? And, you know, if you end up having this filled, having a lot of these boxes checked, then it may be really helpful to go and see a counselor. Seriously. In fact, I'm going to see my counselor in about an hour. I do on a somewhat regular basis. If I'm having some issues, definitely. But even if I'm not having issues, I go to see her, and she, because she's gotten to know me, knows things to ask that she knows I may be having problems with, but I may not even be quite aware of, or maybe I'm preoccupied with something else. So, you know, sometimes you got to have someone else tell you that there's a splinter in your foot, you know? You may not realize it yourself. Well, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to put a little milk in this, and I'm going to go ahead and sit and enjoy my coffee. And I'm thinking that I might buy some half and half to use with making some coffee in my hyper chiller, because while I'm not a big iced coffee fan, I did really enjoy that tropical coconut the other day. And I could imagine, you know, sitting outside on a hot day, sipping on it, but some cream in it would just really hit the spot. Thank you for joining me. Hope you have a good cup of coffee or whatever it is that you like to drink. And think about, what issues do you have? That's the first step, identifying them. The first step in being able to deal with them and make them better.